Um, you two, you don't seem to have any kind of background stuff on. I'm gonna have to mute you because otherwise you'll appear on video. So I'm gonna mute you, but it's just nice not to mute all the time. It's nice to have some feedback. Right, okay, let us crack on. So, well, we shall see. So you're going to come down onto all fours, and like I say, just you'll see me doing some weird and wonderful stuff to try and keep my weight off my right knee. So we're going to start off with the left leg, or being on the left leg, so I can take the weight off my right knee. So typical hands of knees position, usual story. We're going to take your right leg. We're going to make a big circle with the hip. That's all we're doing to start with. So when you're in all fours and you're circling one leg in whichever direction, make sure that your spine is long, neck's in line, pushing the floor away so your shoulder blades are nice and wide, so you're not sinking into your shoulder blades. Just a big circle. So I'm circling the leg with a view to keeping my hips relatively still, so I'm not tilting my pelvis at this moment. We'll get to that in a bit. And then reverse your circle the other way. So relatively still through the pelvis. There'll be a bit of movement. And then we're going to switch legs, which will be entertaining. So we'll see where I can put my knee. That'll do. All right, so same again on the other side. Like I say, your foot doesn't need to be up in the air. Mine's only up in the air so I can take my weight off my kneecap. Nice big circles. And reverse. I'm just getting some heat into the hips. Last couple. And last one. And then tucking the toes under, come up into essentially a down dog. I'm less concerned about what your down dog looks like, as opposed to what we're going to be doing with the shoulders. So butt high on the balls of the feet, and then push forward with the hands so that your head goes back between your upper arms. So here, I want you to practice the concept of pushing the floor away and shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears. So pushing the floor away, the shoulders shrug up to my ears, and then relaxing back down and creating space. So shrug, shoulders to ears, and de-shrug, if that's a word, it is now. So shrug and de-shrug. So this action of shrugging the shoulders up to the ears, I'm going to call it an active shoulder. So when you're in this kind of, this is the top, obviously this would be the scorpion position. And while you're here, you want to close that gap between your shoulders and your ears. So we're making the shoulder more active when you're in this kind of upside down position. So we're shrugging and releasing. You'll see how much movement or not you've got in this position, or how easy it is. Essentially, it's your shoulder blades that are moving up your rib cage. Last couple. And last one. And then we're coming back down to the knees. So drop your knees back down, back to all fours. So this time, similar, we're going to take the leg out to the side though, like a dog cocking its leg, fire hydrant. So essentially what I'm trying to do is get my leg as high as I can without lifting my pelvis up. Yeah, so my hip bones, pointy bits at the front of my pelvis, pointing to the floor the entire time. So I see what range I've got without tilting my pelvis, and it is what it is. So just isolating that outward movement of the leg to start with, without anything else. And just check in with the opposite leg, your standing leg, which is your left one, if you're doing the same leg as I am, and make sure it's not kind of windscreen wipering out to the left. See if you can keep it vertical, which means you'll have to do a bit more work through the glutes. We go one more, and then release. Same on the other side. taking the leg out to the side without, as much as possible, any twisting of the pelvis. So just a fire hydrant to start with. So it's cold. I'm just getting into the glutes a little bit. And go one more and release. And then we're gonna allow the pelvis to shift. So I want you to pick up your right leg as high as it will go before the pelvis moves, and then allow the pelvis to open. So much like the top of the scorpion. Yeah, I'm twisting from the pelvis. But again, my standing leg is vertical. So there should be a lot of work in both glutes really. And then all the way back down. So it's a controlled rotation, yeah? So we've got the leg movement, and then we've got the pelvis movement on top of that. And then take it all the way back down. So just separating them out, just teaching your body where your leg ends and your spine and pelvis start. All the way down. Couple more. Leg, twist, all the way down. One more. Leg, twist, and all the way down. And then we're going to switch sides, or at least we're going to try to switch sides. So same on the other side. We go leg first, and then twist it open. Leg and twist. So ignore the fact that my right elbow is bending. In order for me to keep my weight off my knee, I'm having to kind of make several adjustments, let's put it that way. So leg and then twist. Your elbows want to stay completely straight as best you can. So leg first and twist it open. Couple more, leg, twist. And last one, leg, twist, and release. And then from there, coming down onto the elbows. So we were playing with this last week. Oh, that's better, off my kneecap now. So we're playing with this last week. We're going to start here just to practice that top position. So bringing the left knee towards center. I'm going to pick up your right foot, drive the toes to the ceiling first. So here we've got just hip up to the ceiling, or hip extension, and then we twist open. So hip bones twisted open to the side. We come all the way back down, and this is, we're just going to stick with this, yeah? So drive the toes up to the ceiling, open at the hip, all the way back down. Toes to ceiling, heel to butt, open, and then release all the way back down. Same again, toes to ceiling, twist it open. And when you're in, so when you get to this top position, peak position here, hold it. Make sure that your standing leg is relatively straight. We'll go out to the side, that's okay. Yeah, see if you can open any more. And I'm really driving my bottom knee into the ground to try and get my hips to open even more to the side. Should be a lot of work in the glutes here. And then release back down, and then we'll switch sides. So right knee comes towards the middle, drive left toes to the ceiling, and then open to the side. Slowly all the way back down. So knee up first, and then twist and open, and release back down. Knee up, twist, release back down. I'm going to take it up on this next one and hold it up there. Now see if you can open any further, see if you can rotate any more. Pulling the heel to your bottom still, and then slowly release all the way back down, and just come back off your elbows for a moment. So you come back into a child's pose. Oh, just sinking the chest down to the ground. It's calm before the storm. And then we're coming back to that all fours position again, where we were before. This time, same thing with the leg. We're going to go fire hydrant out to the side first, as far as it will go. There may be a little bit of tilted pelvis, that's okay, especially as once we get here, we're going to reach the leg out. So I'm just straightening my knee, keeping my leg as high as I can. Bend the knee and bring it down. So first things first, leg comes up, straighten the knee, burn the knee, and release back down. So just adding a longer lever, essentially. I'm trying to get my foot at hip height and in line with my hip. Easier said than done this morning. Up to the side, straighten the leg, bend it back in, place it down, and again, up, out, in, down, one more, up, out, in, and down, and then switching sides. Where can I be on my leg here? So same again on the other side, leg first up to the side, and then straighten, bend, and lower. Up, out, bend, lower. So again, a lot of work for the muscles on the side of the hips, all your balance muscles, well, muscles that are involved in balance anyway. Last couple. And last one. And lower it down. And again, just come off your wrist for a moment if you need to. Boy, give them a twirl. Right then. So I'm going to come from, so there's a few different ways of getting into a scorpion. We've not done this one for a while. This is the original one. I'm just going to get rid of my mat. And I'm not going to put my knees down ever again. Okay, so we need to start in loaded beast. So taking your heels, your hips to your heels, knees slightly wider than hip distance. We walk the arms away. And then they pick up the knees so they're hovering an inch off the floor. So that's your loaded beast position. And then release back down just for a moment. So we're going to practice the start position for the scorpion, which is driving the knee to the opposite wrist. So I'm going to go knee to opposite wrist and then come back to this position, all right? Hips go high, by the way, so we're lifting the hips up first. All right, so from here, hover the knees. Lift the hips high to the ceiling. Heels high, hips high. And then as you come forward, you're going to bring the knee to the wrist and pause. You're going to drive the knee into the wrist. I'm going to go back the same way. So hips high. And while you're here, now is your opportunity to really push the floor away and get your shoulders shrugging up to your ears. And then we're going to bring the knees back down to your loaded beast. So we're going to go hips high first, pushing the floor away, shoulders shrugging to the ears. And then we're going to come forward as we bring left knee to right wrist. You're going to pause just briefly, drive the knee into the wrist. We're going back the same way, up, hips high, heels high. Drive the shoulders up to the ears. Shift forward, right knee, left wrist. I should have come back to loaded beast, but we're fine. Go up high. Again, shrug the shoulders to the ears. And then shift forward, left knee, right wrist. Back up high. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. And then come all the way back down. And you can place the knees down. We're good. All right. So this time, I'm going to come straight from loaded beast into a knee to wrist touch. Okay, so we're skipping the hips going up high position to start with. So same thing, starting off with loaded beast, knees slightly wider than hip distance, hover the knees. And come, if you understood any of that, hover the knees, come forward, bring your right knee to your left wrist, drive it in, all the way back to your loaded beast, opposite leg, left knee, right wrist, all the way back, opposite, right to left, and drive it back, left to right, and drive it back. One more each side, right to left, and drive it back. Last one, left knee, right wrist, drive it back to loaded beast, and then rest. All right, so this is where we start putting it all together. So from that wrist touch, we go out in a big circle up to that peak position with the leg up high. This is where it all happens. So shoulders, hips, glutes, you name it, feet, everything gets involved in this position. Are we ready? Julie's like, don't know, we'll see. All right, so starting off in your loaded beast. You don't have to hover the knees until we're good to go, all right? So while I'm waffling, you can keep your knees down. So we're gonna go right leg, right leg scorpion reach, okay? So hover the knees, we go right knee to left wrist. We know that bit. We're driving up to that peak position, leading with the toes. The leg comes out, around, and up. Your left knee should be bent. Your left heel slightly out to the side. You're pushing the floor away, shrugging the shoulders to the ears, and you're trying to get your shin parallel to the ceiling. High heel, high hips. Comes back the same way. Big circle out to the side, best you can. Knee to wrist, and then back to your loaded beast position. You can rest the knees down before we go again. I'm only doing that because I'm sliding on the floor, my sweaty hands. So same on the other side. So left leg scorpion reach, hover the knees, drive left knee to right wrist, lead with the toes, up, out and around, right knee slightly bent, right heel out to the side, high heel, shrug shoulders, hold and breathe, and then reverse that movement, leading with the knee, out, cross to the wrist, and then back to your loaded beast, and then lower the knees. Come off the hands if you need to, and give them wrist twirl if they need it. I'm just coming out of it completely just to get off my knee for a moment. Okay. So that's scorpion reach. That's the full thing. Next one is a scorpion, something else. She's completely gone out of my mind. It doesn't really matter from your perspective. I'm just giving you a break. We're going to do it from beast. We played with this last week. I think it might just be Nick that was here, but anyway, doesn't matter. So starting in static beast. So knees are under belly button level instead. Rest of it's kind of the same though. You're hovering the knees, but instead of all that wrist touch business, we're just going straight from here. So if I was doing right leg scorpion, pick up my right foot, lead with the toes, push up, out and around, and we're back up to that peak position. I'm still shrugging the shoulders, I'm still lifting the heel, bent knee. Big stretch, lots of work in the glutes, upside down, which is always a good thing first thing in the morning. And then back exactly the same way. Leg comes out to the side, leading with the knee, and it drops back under your hip. Well done, good, right. So same on the other side. So left leg scorpion. Lead with the toes, up and around. High heel, high hips, shrugging the shoulders, really pushing the floor away. Hold and breathe. And then take it all the way down, back to your beast position, and then release the knees down. Oh, well done. Right. I'm going to come, seeing as I can see Andrea. I can't see you, Julie. I'm just trusting that you're there. It's all right, don't worry. I know what it's like trying to get camera set up or whatever. Let's do it again. Same on each side. I'm coming to have a shufty at what you're up to. So get set up in static beast. When you're ready, hover the knees. Let's go left leg scorpion. So leading with the toes, left leg scorpion. Yep, go for it. Nice work, Andrea, good. Yes, look at that, amazing. Brilliant. And I can see Julie's leg, well done. Heel to butt, Julie, if you can, a little bit more. Yes, there it is, nicely done. And then when you're ready, all the way back down. So leading with the knee, big circle around and down. That's it, good. And rest your knees down if you want in between. Good, so that was left leg. We've got right leg to do. When you're ready, hover the knees, step beast, right leg scorpion. Big circle up and around, nice work, Andrea, good. That's it, Julie's, point your toes, Jules. Yeah, good, good. Nice, really shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Beautiful. And then reverse it all the way back down. Really good. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, so we've got one left. We might as well play with it this morning. There's one left, and it's from crab. So crab to scorpion. So there's a little bit of an underswitch in there. So it does add that little bit of complexity, but it's just a nice movement, or I like it anyway. But then I'm a little bit weird, a little bit nerd-like. Right, so if we set crab, if we've got a nice tight crab, chest lifted, gaze up, push the floor away to lift your hips an inch off the floor. So if we're going left leg scorpion from here, so it's left leg under switch, the left leg goes under, same as usual, hand comes down, the leg keeps traveling up and around. So we're back into that peak position, heel high, hips high, shrugging the shoulders. And then let's reverse it. So come all the way down. You'll pass through this kind of beast position to pick up your hand to come over back into crab. Make sense? Yeah? Let's do the other side then. So left leg scorpion, sorry, right leg scorpion, apologies, right leg. So right leg, left hand lift. We go over, keep traveling with the leg up and around into your scorpion. And then reverse that movement, like circles around, leading with the knee. Make sure you come nice and low. And transition back into your crab. Readjust if necessary. Well done. Sit your hips down. I'm going to do one more of those either side. And then we'll start playing with them for the rest of the, well, I say the rest of the week. We've only got Tuesday and Wednesday this week. All right, so same again. Left leg scorpion. So left leg goes under, right hand comes over. Keep traveling with the leg all the way up and around. Hit that peak position and then make sure you've got all your checkpoints. Shrugging the shoulders, hips high, heel slightly out, knee bent. Pulling heel to bottom. And then reverse, take the leg out to the side, leaning with the knee. It drops low to the floor. And you transition back over into your crab. Right leg scorpion. Right leg travels under, left leg arm, evil, travels over. Up and around. Find that peak position again. We check in, we shrug the shoulders. Heel to butt, knee bent, heel high. And reverse. Leg comes out to the side. Transition back over into your crab. And then release the hips down. Well done. Very good. Very good. Right. Okay. Pretzel. Forgetting my words this morning. It's it's Monday, isn't it? That'll be why. So top knee, bottom hand, bottom ankle, top hand. Pull that bottom leg away. And then allow the chest to open towards the ceiling or thereabouts. And just holding and breathing this morning. No contraction, unless you particularly want to. So we're aiming for the top knee to be on the floor, the foot, foot the back to be on the floor as well. Back of the top shoulder. And you may have one or several of those points this morning. And then slowly release. And we switch sides. Top knee, bottom ankle. Make sure you pull that bottom leg behind you first. Like quad hip flexor kind of stuff going on down the front. It's kind of been a while since I've said this, so it might bear repeating this. Sometimes some teaching points go amiss. When you're in this position, it's very easy to allow your lower back to arch, dodge the hip flexor and quad stretch. Your body's very clever. So if you're here and you're kind of going, not really getting very much quad stretch, or even if you are, think about tucking the tailbone under. So I'm actively tucking my tailbone. And as I do that, I'll get more of a stretch down into this hip flexor and quad on this bottom leg. So tuck the tail. As you do that, it will also bring your ribs in. So I'm trying to close this space between my ribs and my hips. So I'm actively tucking and tightening everything up rather than kind of just allowing my lower back to arch. Hope that makes some kind of sense. And then very gently unravel yourself. Oh, and that's Monday. Done. Oh, well done. So speak to me, chaps. Let's just make sure.